Hey mages, welcome to today's MTG Finance video where we are looking at the top 10 most expensive cards from the new set, Edge of Eternities. Now I'm going to be using just the regular arts as we go through these cards from the new set, just because mainly majority of people will be, if they're getting boosters, will be getting the play boosters and not the collector boosters because of the obvious price difference. You can still get some amazing different art cards in the play boosters, hence what happened in my previous video where we pulled an $100 Ancient Tomb, which was amazing in a play booster. But as I say, 99.9% of us will be just getting play boosters. So it's good to see where the market is. The set is coming out now. Been able to get cards from your pre-release the week before. So the market has slightly settled down now. And we can have a look at where we think some of these cards may fit into the standard decks. But without further ado, let's get on to looking at the cards. So like I say, all my prices are from the channel sponsors Cardmarket, and we're going to be doing it number 10 and number 9 together because they are two of the pain lands. Pain lands are called this because when they enter, you have to pay life. So you pay 2 life and the enter's tapped. So coming in at number 10, we have Breeding Pool at 862 and Watery Grave at 886. So very similar on the price, and just below the top 10 as well, we did have the Sacred Foundry, which didn't quite make it into the 10. These lands at the moment are great pulls if you can get them. Don't think because they're not the most expensive. They could be used in any other format. They're used in Modern, they could be used in Commander, anything. They're always going to be good, and it's amazing to have these land fixes back into Standard. And it will help you play a lot of decks that may be on multiple colours, your 3, 4, 5 colour decks. These are perfect for that. So they are a very welcome reprint to Edge of Eternities. So we're now looking at number 8, and it is Ouroboros, if I've pronounced that one right. 2 double green mythic. It is a 1/3 at beginning of combat on your turn. Put X/1/1 counters on each creature you control, where X is this creature's power. So it's automatically going to get a one counter on every creature. If you have ways maybe to pump this up, you could get more on that as well. I feel like this, I've been seeing it sort of brews around this in Golgari mid-range, and it could also be in a green counters deck as well, obviously. So good stats, a 1/3, does cost 4 mana. So whether it's, whether people are just testing it at the moment in that, because 4 mana, there could be some other better spots for 4 mana cards. Generally not going to win you a game, but it could help you win a game, so maybe win game more, and it obviously goes very well in a counters sort of themed deck, and a nice mid-rangey card to beef up some of your other creatures as well. Does get hit with lightning strike, so it is quite easy to kill, but we can't ever use easy to kill as a reason for not playing a card, because you could just wipe out half the set straight away, of all sets where the creatures are concerned. But I do like this one. The double green makes it slightly harder, so maybe just in the 2 color decks, but like I said, we have land fixing now, so this can make this one a bit more playable. Number 7, that is generally on the rise. Started off lower in price, but now this is at 966. This is a 2/4 human soldier for 3 mana, 2 and a white. It's a mythic spell. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, choose one, create 2 tokens, and put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. You can choose one of them. Second spell decks generally have, do very well. There's lots of those type of decks again there where you run low mana spells to actually trigger these. The stats on this being really good. The 4 toughness I think is, pretty essential for this, and it's 3 mana as well. You're going to get the choice of 2 really good abilities. Now, if you're putting this in a mono white, the token deck, which I think this could, the token control, I think this could see a little bit of play in that. We're going to work very well with Elspeth that makes tokens as well. Then be able to buff these up, and obviously Elspeth can bump them up as well. And like I said, a good blocker for 2/4. Can see why this one is rising. It probably is going to go up a bit because it'll be used in Commander as well for all the token decks as well. So Cosmogrand Zenith, I think, if you've pulled one now, you're lucky. It probably could raise over the £10, $11, $12 mark for a bit anyway. Coming in at number 6 as well is another one that has been gradually rising over the week. This is at 1179. This is Ice Till Explorer. So another 4 mana one, 2 double green again. Has some good stats this one though, 2/4. Lots of things going on with this one, so probably could see play in mono green land decks. Definitely a very good commander card, which is why this one is probably rising up and will continue to rise up. Playing additional land on each of your turns is great. Playing lands from your graveyard is great as well, and has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, mill a card. Going to fit into so many different strategies, good blocking stats. I really do like this one. I might have to try and fit it in my commander deck, Tachyova, because I just want additional ways to play lands from graveyards as well. And this is a good kind of maybe self-mill in standard. Like I said, good for potentially the mono green land decks because you can put stuff into the graveyard as you do, bring those lands back again in getting multiple triggers on your Chicobos and everything like that. But a very, very good card. Next in at number 5 is Quantum Riddler, 3 double blue for a Sphinx. It has flying, it's 4/6, and also has the warp ability, so you can put this in for 2 mana, but then it will go back and you have to play it at a later time as well for the mana cost. I like the warp ability, and I do like this card, to be honest. Being used at the moment, I've seen it in a recent 5-0 list for Is It Cauldron. So this is in there as well in a real top deck, and obviously it went 5-0, so obviously predicting that it did rather well. The 4/6 flying is amazing. When it enters, you get to draw a card, which helps those sort of decks as well. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, if you draw 1 or more cards, draw that many cards plus 1 as well. So a great finisher. Ways with the Cauldron to actually put counters on and make it an absolute beater. You're getting above stats for the 5 mana. You're getting that 6 toughness, which will take down, stop it against most flyers against you, to be honest. And 4 power at the start is nothing to be sniffed at. And obviously in the Cauldron type of deck, it can then just build up as well. Also think this could see play in Azorius control because it could be a really good finisher as well. So, for 5 mana, a big 4/6 card draw, potential more card draw. Just really, really think this is a really sweet card. Coming in number 4 at 14.93 is Exalted Sunborn. 3 double white for an Angel Wizard Mythic. It has flying, it has lifelink, it's a 4/5. Another one with warp as well, so you can cast this from your hand for its warp cost, exile, then begin the next end step. Then you may cast it exile later turn as well. So this is going to be good for tokens. If 1 or more tokens would be created under control, twice that many tokens again. So maybe another one to go into like the token control type of deck. Commander, yep, it's going to see play in Angels because make tokens, and it's just nice stats. Not legendary for standard as well, so that makes it a bit more appealing. Flying, lifelink 4/5, so that's big swings, nice toughness, nice attack, and that added extra ability when you've got token producers in there to create more tokens. While having this on there, you could even warp it in, then play this is a cheap spell to warp in, and then play a token, type of generator. Get those tokens in, twice that many. This will come back out, and then you get it back in later in another turn. Really do cool. I think it's a cool mythic, this one. Angels, I do like. Exalted Sunburn coming in at number 4. We now go to one of the new lands. This is Uthros Titanic Godcore. It's the blue land that enters tapped, has Station. Station is 12 plus. It seems a lot to me. I was quite surprised that this, not surprised this one was so high up in price because it is nice. But then, it's got a good ability. 1 blue mana tap to add 1 blue mana for each artifact you control. Now, if you're playing in the, the Azorius artifact type of deck, you can amass loads of creatures with massive power and stats straight away. And then obviously you can tap to get the station on this, and then, you need a reason for using that large amount of mana. But this seems more to me, Commander. It's going to be, pretty easily used in that. I think that's why the price is so high at the moment. But all in all, I think it's, these new type of lands are very cool, and I think they're obviously wanted as well because, they are in the top sort of echelon of the price cards in there. So if you can pull these, if you've got to have this type of deck for this, so it can be a good pull for you maybe to resell or trade. I'm not sure with these if the price will go up or down. I'm a bit unsure on these. How good they actually are, but maybe someone can let us know in the comments their ideas of how good you think these new type of lands are. And like I said, these new lands are, where the money are. Number 2 is Evendo Waking Haven. It's the green version that enters taps, adds green mana. The station on this is 12 plus again. And for green, add green for each creature you control. This could be really big, certainly in Commander. Mono green is not massive in standard, like the green lands decks doesn't have like loads of creatures. And it doesn't really have that top end, but maybe some type of green ramp deck where you're trying to go into the behemoth at the end, kind of, mono green, rampy, aggro type of, big sort of swinger, stompy deck. This could be seen in standard, but whether it would be good enough with the amount of removal, mass removal, exile and everything like that can really sort of hinder those decks. We lost Sunfall, but we did get a new one in this one that didn't make the top 10, but off the top of my head, I can't remember what the name of the new one is. There is a new exile that that does creatures, and I think it was stations or something like that as well. It did something else as well, but sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head. Someone will let me know down below. But this is, you know, for the price of it as well, $15.57. These are going to be some good pulls, but they could also be good trade fodder if it's not a land that you like, but still very nice pull. So the number one, and it's, you know, the chase rare of the set. This is Tezzeret, Cruel Captain, coming in at $23.04. So, you know, a fair bit of price difference, you know, 50% on top of what the number 2 is. So, you know, this has definitely been hovering around £25, £26, so around $28, $29, $30. This one's been hovering at. 3-mana Planeswalkers are generally seen as pretty decent. This one has 4 loyalties when it comes in, and whenever an artifact you control enters, put a loyalty counter on it, so it will build up. 0, untap target artifact or creature. If it's an artifact creature, put a 1/1 counter in it. The -3 is searching for an artifact card with value 1 or less. Put it in your hand and shuffle. Not on the battlefield, would have been nice, but it doesn't do that for you. But does let you tutor up something 1 or less. So there's other formats where that is going to be very good, I would assume. And the -7 is you get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, put 3 1/1 counters on target artifact you control. If it's not a creature, it becomes a 0/0 robot. Obviously, then we'll have the 3 counters on. But you then get that emblem, which is really nice. And, you know, you got to keep putting artifacts in so it could get up there quite easily to that -7 and then keep going again. I haven't seen this played on standard. I've not come across anything yet, but I could see it obviously fitting into maybe Azorius artifacts. If anyone's tried it in that deck, let me know what you think of it. It seems a good way to build up and get that. Would it be too slow in standard? I'm not, even at 3 mana, I'm not too sure. They do run some mass removal, some, you know, because it runs white, so it does have the Day of Judgment kind of cards and the Exile cards, so maybe it could do that and setting up for your late game. But yeah, it is the chase pull from the set. So if you're opening your play boosters and you pull the Tezzeret, you've pulled the most expensive card currently from Edge of Eternities. Nice to see it's a Planeswalker, because of me, I am a Planeswalker fan as well. I do love playing with Planeswalkers. I think, you know, they just, to me, just scream magic, which is what, you know, these type of sets are. They are more, you know, magic based. This is space magic kind of thing, but I do like these personally over the UB set, so I was more excited about this coming in than Final Fantasy myself, although some of the Final Fantasy cards have been really cool to play with. But yeah, that's the top 10 most expensive cards. Let me know what you put in your boosters. Let me know how many of these hits you've got, and if you're interested in trying any of these cards in your decks, and maybe some just under that you think will possibly rise up in price. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'll be interested to know, and I'll always get back to you in a comment replied. So if you're watching the video, please hit that subscribe button. A lot of you watching this watch all the videos but aren't subscribed. I would really appreciate if you do that, and smashing the like helps it show out to YouTube that everyone enjoys it and shows it to new people. If you want to support me a bit further, you can check out my Patreon, links in the description. And you lot take care, and I will see you on the next video.